I'm Silken Lauman, and I am a lifetime journaler. I have been journaling since I had my first Holly hobby journal when I was like 6 years old and could barely write. And I would write my feelings down in my journal and like how I was mad at my mom and dad, and that all ended when my mom read my journal. But it started this great habit in my life about just putting down my ideas, my thoughts, my fears onto a piece of paper. And I've come in the last 10 years or so to do this every single morning. It's one of the first things that I do when I wake up. There's a real power to it. I think that regular journaling releases your creativity in a way almost nothing else can. It dumps all your thoughts and your fears and your anxieties and your ideas onto the page at the beginning of the day when you can clear the path for the rest of the day. So people have asked me, how do you journal? And it's something that I've done for so long, it's almost hard to explain. And I think what I will say is, you can see I'm a diehard journaler. I have my journal for like writing every single morning, and I have my dreams and goals journal, and I have my work journal, and I have my speech work journal. I go through about 15 journals a year, and I write 3 pages of longhand every single morning. So how do you journal? Well, you get a book, and you can get something at Costco, you can pick something up at the drugstore. It does not have to be fancy, and you get a pen. I'm obsessed with pens. I have certain pens that I love, and I only like to write with gel pens that can write really, really quickly, and they feel good on the page. And the magic in journaling is the consistency, doing it every single day, and trying to find the same time every single day that you're doing it. And what do you write in your journal? Like, people will say, well, what do you write? Like, do you just talk about what's happened? Do you talk about what you did yesterday? Not at all. I get up, and whatever I'm thinking about, whatever I'm worried about, whatever I'm processing, I just write it down. And sometimes it's stupid stuff. Like, I look at the journal afterwards, I'm like, what have I actually written? But a lot of the time, as I'm writing and as I go through the process of just doing 3 pages of longhand every single morning, stuff starts to come up. Ideas start to come up from work. I start to see themes come up in my life over and over again, and I get sick of writing about it. So I go, when am I going to deal with this? Like, I've written about this literally for 8 months now. Like, do something about it already, And rather than, starting off the day with your head full of worry and thoughts and stressors, I dump it into the page. And so then when I walk away from the journaling, my head is free. So there's no wrong way or right way to journal. Nobody's going to read your journal. They're not that interested in you. You probably won't read your journal again, but the process itself is where the magic lies. It's how it is effective. It's just taking that pen and writing 3 pages of longhand. And 3 pages of longhand is not my idea. If you want to start journaling and you want a little bit more process around it, I would recommend reading this book. It's called The Artist's Way. It's really old. It's by Julia Cameron. It's sold millions of copies. You can get it in an e-reader too. And she takes you through a whole process. I think the process takes 4 months. And, she asks you questions, and so it's kind of like a guided journal, and that's a great way to get started, is to have more of a guided journal, where you have an exercise and that you do it. She still wants 3 pages of longhand every morning. She still, and she calls it morning pages. I call mine morning pages. I've done this a couple times, and she talks about everything from negative beliefs to creativity, and her whole thing in The Artist's Way is its subtitle is A Spiritual Path to Higher Creativity. And I will say that when you journal regularly, your creativity goes through the roof. Like it's just amazing. And I believe that every single person is a creative person, that we create in different ways, but really creating is connecting with our deeper self and taking our talents and our abilities and putting them out in the world. That's what creating is. So I don't know what your talent and abilities are. You know, I know what mine are, and this helps me. Doing this every single day, getting it on the page, helps that creativity rise to the surface. And what I notice is when I'm journaling regularly, I don't always journal regularly. I go through periods where I just get unmotivated and I don't want to get up and do it. But when I'm journaling regularly, the time it takes from idea to fruition of the idea is shortened. So I go very quickly from, you know, the idea surfacing to the idea being realized much more quickly when I'm doing consistent journaling. So I hope you can make journaling part of your life. I think it's this incredible tool to access your talents and your abilities and your own inner creativity.